Check, check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Thursday. It's officially Thursday, unlike yesterday. That was a fake Thursday. My name is Icy Gaming. This is Gaming Daily Live. I am super excited for today's interview. It has been a long time coming. We're bringing the vibes back to the stream, back to the show, back to gaming. A little teaser for you guys there. Shout out to Doji. Shout out to AE. Doji, man, I missed you in the chat yesterday. I was like opening up the chat. I was like, I hope Doji's there. Doji was not the first one. It broke my heart. I was so sad, but I'm so happy to see you here today. Appreciate you guys. Update on the car negotiations for anybody that's been following along there. We got a mobile inspector going out inspecting the car. The dealership came down in their price a bit. They were playing hardball. So I'm doing better because the car hopefully will be closed and, finalized this week. Speaking of this week, shout out to Sam Stefanina, Audible here. It's his wedding weekend. I am flying out tomorrow to California to celebrate Sir Samuel J. Stefanina tying the knot with the love of his life. So super fun. So we'll be out tomorrow. No content. We'll be flying. The girlfriend and I are super excited for that trip. I have to pack. We have to do this interview and then I have to pack. Enough belaboring the point. Big shout out to Blaze. Big shout out to YGG Play, the sponsors that make this show possible. And let's just talk about who we got coming on the show today. Let me just share that right there. Big shout out to Adrian for making these sick ass graphics, by the way. Jeremy is the content lead and marketing behind Vibes TCG. You guys know Vibes TCG. I'm wearing my Pudgy Penguins hoodie for the show today. This is the hybrid physical digital trading card game built on the biggest IP in crypto. Shout out to Pudgy Penguins. Also Moonbirds, recent acquisition. In under 2 years, they have sold over 4 million physical cards, hit 350,000 online games played, and they're about to get ready to drop their set number 3 into more than 100 retailers. Insane. I mean, they're like the crypto native IP that has transcended crypto. And Vibes is like one of the flagship games building with this IP, trying to put a good name on Web3 crypto gaming. So without further ado, let's bring Jeremy up onto the stage. Jeremy, how you doing? Welcome to Gaming Daily Live, brother.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, I appreciate you having me here, Icy. I can't wait to talk about Vibes, the new set that we have coming out. But, let's not rush the new set. I mean, set 1 and set 2 has plenty to be excited about. I just love the game, super passionate, go to all these types of events. And just the emotions that I see from the players, whether they're learning the game or they're hyper competitive already, it just keeps the juices flowing. And I don't know, I can't wait to see where Vibes goes, and happy to have you guys along.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. No, teaser, guys. Stay tuned for later. We are revealing. We've been given 3 cards, 3 new artwork from set 3 to reveal, debut on the show. So big shout out to Jeremy and Vibes for that. But we'll save that for a little bit later. Jeremy, man, yeah, super stoked to have you. Mount Doji is a big fan already, saying, Texas native, so we got to do it big. Hopefully we're not doxing locations out here. But man, so tell me more about your role with Vibes TCG. You were saying, before we jumped on, you've been with them for about a year now. Is it right? Content, marketing, kind of that aspect. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, my role, and that's right, I've been with them for now about a year, just coming up on a year. My role is more so like socials and content lead, whether that's the blog post on the website, the newsletters, all of social media, our YouTube videos and VODs, live streams, everything else like that at the event. So if it is a piece of Vibes content, typically I am coordinating or masterminding that. On the marketing side, we do have, we run like traditional type of gaming marketing, but I'd say that we really haven't opened that our full can of worms on that yet. Like we're trying to get the game to a point to where we can really turn that engine on.
Okay. Oh, teasers already. I like it. I like it. That's cool, man. That's cool. But you were in gaming before this as well, right? You were playing some parallel. You've been in the space. Like, what is kind of your a little bit of your background, your history, your lore, if you will, and then like how did you kind of end up at Vibe CCG?
Yeah, man. I mean, to keep it short, I don't know. I grew up in a super small town. I don't know how I ended up going to college, and then I ended up getting a computer engineering degree, and dabble in big data and tech. So I just kind of see myself as just a indie kind of dev myself on the side. Like I like to create full stack apps when I'm not working on anything for vibes or anything else.
Uh-huh.
And uh, in as another hobby, or two of my major hobbies are photography and videography, and then my other hobby is was gaming in the past, but as I got a little bit older, and you hit that retirement age of FPS gaming where you can't really keep up with the young bucks anymore,
Yeah.
what do? You kind of transition to TCGs. So,
Yes.
no, honestly, two things in my life is like one, as people got jobs and then started their own families, it's harder to get the guys together to play basketball and
Mm,
football. COVID happens and everybody, you're just kind of to yourself. So I picked up TCGs and I picked up one sport, golf. Now, I'm not good at golf. I'm much better at TCGs than golf, but let me just explain it real quick. Golf and TCGs, it's something that you can enjoy by yourself, right? But then when
mm,
you want to get the gang together, it's possible.
yeah.
You can do 1v1s, 2v2, pod play, and then same thing with golf, all types of formats there. But yes, getting now to the TCG and the gaming experience is loved FPS. It's just not necessarily for me anymore. Fully into TCGs, whether that be physical or digital. I had my time there in Lorcana physical before hopping into Vibes, and then now I play a little bit of Vibes and Riftbound, and then digitally, it's Parallel and Vibes.
Mhm. What was your like how did you get into crypto, right? Like was this like is there anything there in terms of that? Like and then you found gaming? Did you find gaming first and then kind of found crypto? Like were you a
I was
pudgy holder, moonbirds?
so a little bit of a mix. On the technology side, I mean, when I was in college, Bitcoin and Ethereum were kind of doing their thing. Ethereum was pretty fresh and new. Bitcoin was most definitely a thing, but most of our professors, especially at the time, maybe 1 in 10 was actually interested in it and told us to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Most of them were, kind of on the fence about it, or wanted to stay away from that. So I was aware of it, but I never got into it per se. My time in crypto and NFTs didn't really come until the Top Shot era, and that was
Mm.
definitely the gateway drug into NFTs. So once we hit the Top Shot era and we had the huge, run up and then started coming back down, now we figure out what OpenSea is. Now you
Yeah.
figure out all these different arts, on the blockchain, and then these generative NFTs, Bored Apes and all the other things. So I was a day one Bored Ape mentor. I was a day one like Proof Pass member, day one Moonbird
Nice.
mentor, like all these things. And so definitely caught the beginning of that whole cycle, and also saw it all the way through for better or worse.
Yeah, you're still here,
But
man. So respect. Respect the
yeah, still
OGs.
here. Still here. So gaming definitely pre-existed that, but again, I was more like competitive FPS
Yeah.
side. It didn't really have much to do with tech or NFTs, but there was definitely a crossover in the communities and in the people there. FPS community, competitive FPS kind of has like those hype beast sneakerhead type things where
Yeah.
they're trying to flip. There's people flipping PS4s and Xboxes and
Yeah.
this and that, and so there was a crossover there with Top Shot and NFTs.
Yeah, no, cool. That makes a lot of sense. I guess like it's so interesting to me when I hear the Top Shot like onboarding. I like Thread Guy and stuff will talk about it too. And like I was in crypto at the time, but I was in DeFi and I kind
Hmm.
of didn't pay a lot of attention to the NFTs.
Okay.
I minted hash masks. I thought hash masks were super interesting, and that like really brought me in.
Yeah.
But like, and I remember when Bored Apes were minting, but I wasn't really that interested, and I completely faded generational wealth through every single cycle. That's why I'm still here. But and then it was kind of towards the end of that year, 2021, where or even yeah, end of 2021, when I found like crypto gaming and was like, oh, there was a project called Ice Poker and NFTs, all that stuff. And I got really into that, and then I started streaming, and that started like my journey as a content creator, and was like, I think crypto gaming is going to be a really big thing. I want to go all in on it. It's early, but something like interesting is happening. And so like again, like I kind of missed, I knew of Top Shots and everything, but like for me it was never the onboarding. But I think it's so fascinating when yeah, it was such a big thing to so many people, and it made so much sense. So that's cool to hear that story from you. What was it about, like, I guess being in Moonbirds and the Proof Pass and everything? I guess like what stuck out to you in terms of vibes TCG? Like what that, how did you end up working there? Was it because you were playing TCGs, you're in the
Sure.
community, you're like, this is perfect, man. Like how do I work with these guys, or what was the story?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it would have been a perfect or like stars align type thing, especially if I owned a Pudgy asset, but I do not own a Pudgy NFT or a little Pudgy. I never have. Always wanted to, but just
The
never
little
really pulled.
pudgy in me just died a little bit, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know they're cute. I've always wanted one, but I've never been able to pull the trigger on that. And then what got me into this? I mean, when I saw Vibe CCG, first of all, they announced way back when you can go
Yeah.
and reserve your username. And this
Yeah.
was, I was playing Parallel already. I was playing Lorcana. I was like, hey, another TCG. It's kind of not best of both worlds, but like a crossover of worlds where it's
Hmm.
physical TCG. Meets Web3, and I was like,
Hmm.
this is amazing, because one of the things that I didn't really enjoy about Parallel was the experience was fully digital. Now Parallel
Mm.
is my favorite theme, right? Like sci-fi. I love
Yeah.
sci-fi, sci-fi movies, sci-fi books, sci-fi everything.
Hell yeah.
But the experience kind of was always fading. It's like you always had to be connected to something digitally, your
Hmm.
computer or whatever to play the game. Whereas in Vibes, it was like always from the get go that they were also going to be physical, and
Mm.
that really stood out to me because I know the experiences that I had in Lorcana were awesome. When I got to meet up with people and play. So yeah, I was like, I'm all about it. So I go and reserve my username. Game comes out, I think early December, December 4th, maybe,
Yeah, I was at
2020.
the first. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Uh-huh.
first saw Vibes at that Art Basel in Miami. I think that was like the year that or like the week that they launched. Over a year and a half ago or something. So,
Hmm.
and their setup was incredible, and I was like, whoa, these guys are cool, and I've been paying attention ever since.
Yeah, so a lot of the OGs of the team were there. Luca was there and everything else like that. That was a really great time. Do people have some grails from that event? Because they were opening packs, they were ripping them,
Yeah,
they were pulling epics, foil epics, and they were having Spencer sign, they were having Luca sign, they were having
damn,
Claire sign, and I was like, man, some people come up to me at these events and they show me those. I was like,
yeah,
I can't. I can, like, as a team member, we can't ever tell you like what something is worth or speculative, market value. But I was like,
right.
hey, like hold on to that one. Like,
Yeah,
do
that's
not
special.
even show people that you have that if if you want to be careful, because yeah, that's something special. But again, that came out December whatever, and I wasn't there for the physical event, but I was a day one player online for sure.
Cool.
And I was one of the first users, or I don't know if I give myself enough credit to be like co-creator, but I definitely tinkered and crafted with the BizBunk build. I put my own spin on it, my own text, and man, there was another guy, I can never remember his name, but we worked on that for 10 days straight. This card, take this card out, take this card in, put this many copies, and all these tech cards. And we finally got it like to a spot where no lie, it had to be, even if I was conservative, I probably went on a 35-40 win streak in the digital game. And that's not against
Damn.
bots. That was definitely against like real players.
Hell
And
yeah.
it was a good time. Showed my friend, legit bad guy. You may be familiar with him. He was in the game. I taught him how to play the deck, and then he goes on a 30 plus win streak. I was like, yo, this deck is crazy. I thought it was going to be banned, or some part of it was going to be banned, because it was just so um I, I don't know, it was
OP
just,
or
yeah, just so OP. And then come to find out, that was in December, and then we have the NA zonals in May. Again, I didn't attend. Just had things going on in my life. I believe my wife was pregnant at the time as well, so I was like, I gotta
congrats.
miss out on this. But Bizbunk just goes crazy there as well. Ends up taking the whole thing.
Damn.
Suarez won the championship with it, and then. Fast forward, and I don't want to spend all the time talking about this, but forward to the World Championships post set two, you know, we thought we kind of put that deck to bed. There's definitely
Mhm.
some cards that can hold this deck to the right power level, but come to find out, I think 4 out of the top 8 decks at Worlds were Bizbunk, and then the runner up was a no, sorry, the it was a Bizbunk mirror in the finals, so Bizbunk won the whole thing at Worlds as well.
Wow. Well, I want to talk about Worlds because I just saw on the title or the pin post, the Vibes Asian Championships are returning to Manila,
Mhm.
which is awesome. Congrats, $20,000. I think I was covering what I believe the last Worlds tournament was last year. We covered it on Gaming Daily. Always trying, like, I love like these big tournaments and the big series and the championships. Like, I that's what to me what a lot of gaming is about. At least, like, the spectacle of it, the esports, like the big championships, the number one winner and holding up the trophy and everything. So I think it's such a great look for what we're trying to do in crypto gaming as well. So we always try and amplify this stuff as much as we can. So one, congrats on that and being a part of all that. What is Can you clarify for me what the Vibes Asian Championships are? Is this in the same series? Is this kind of a separate series? Because I was surprised to see that it's coming June 13th and 14th. So what's kind of the story there?
Hey, that's 3 weeks away. Yeah, so this is our second season of the competitive circuit. We have 3 zonals across the entire world, plus our
Got
pro
it.
points leaderboard. But our 3 zonals, to make it very simple, is if you place top 8 at any zonal, including the Asian Championships here, you secure a world's invite. So that will, allow you or invite you to worlds and participate at that.
Mm.
To simply put it. But yes, there are 3 around the world. So that's going to be Asian Championship, European Championship, American Championship. Asian, like you have the post up here, is at ToyCon Philippines, June 13th, 14th. European will be in Bologna, Italy, August 29th. And American, I believe that's going to be at SCG Con Baltimore, September 11th through the 13th, I believe.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That again, like that's freaking amazing. Because that's what gaming is about. And that's what my hope for crypto gaming is, that we can go out and be good representatives of the brands, the IPs, the technology, and or just nothing about it, like, like, but just like good people and representatives of what's going on in the space, to not only connect, build bridges, but ultimately onboard other people to this world. So thank you guys for all your hard work. That is something that has stuck out to me from Vibes and Orange Cap Games and all of the work that you guys are doing over there. Shout out to Spencer. Like, and that's what Pudgy's about, right? Onboarding and representing the space, and especially in a time where like crypto gaming is struggling, and sentiment is down bad. I mean, you've got someone like Vibes and Pudgy's, like, just proliferating and doing your thing an extremely high level, because these IRL events are not easy. uh is there a mix between them being IRL and digital, or like is there a digital series as well? How does that play into it? I'm curious.
Yes, so the specific details we have outlined, like in our blog post, if anybody wants to go read about the details. But yes, there is a pro points leaderboard online as well, and we
Mm,
have digital seasons there. I think they're
cool.
roughly 2.5 months each season. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they were last season. Um, these digital seasons, not only the zonal championships have a 20K prize pool, but currently our digital seasons at the moment have $20,000 prize pools as well, and that is weighted based on your position in the leaderboard. With
Mm,
the only qualifier is that you reach the dummy thick tier. So dummy thick is our like master ranked uh, tier within the digital ladder. And currently, just by the way,
what
if
level is Pudgy? Like, what are the levels? Does it start out at Pudgy and then you just graduate to dummy thick, or what is
yeah,
it?
there's like lean. I think lean is the or jolly, lean or jolly. I always mix those two up. Lean,
That's awesome.
jolly. There's hefty, and then I think there's one more in there before dummy thick. So I believe there's five
Mm,
tiers. But yeah, so right now, and I was about to say, if you're familiar with the game or you're not familiar with the game, currently, at least before set three comes out, all cards are available to everybody who just makes an account for the game. So you do not. It's already free to play, but typically you would have to earn packs. You'd have to earn gold to buy packs and crack those packs to earn your collection, to grow your collection. But for the past maybe 2 to 3 months, it's been completely open for anybody to come in and try any deck, any card that you want. So you can actually play with those cards. Not only that, you can actually use those cards that are completely open to grind the ranked ladder for completely free. And you hit dummy thick and you actually get a payout for that season.
nice. Jeremy, I guess this is going to be like a little bit of a selfish interview because, I talk to a lot of crypto game founders, developers, indie games who, quite honestly, have not gotten as far as Vibes. And, I think the hardest thing is not only making a game, but then bringing it to market and trying to onboard players and build traction and, get the game out there. And really Vibes has done such an incredible job of doing exactly that, making a great game. You can play online, it's big and abstract, but then you are doing the physical IRL tournaments, which it's so cool to hear that you have um, such a background in that and an affinity towards that. I think like that's great, right? It'd be less great if you were in your role and like weren't about that, because I think
Hmm.
yeah that connection or bridging that connection between physical and digital, again, Vibes has done a really great job of. So it's
Yeah,
almost like, yeah, go ahead,
if I could
please.
just interject real quick because I love that you mentioned that. Not selfishly for me because I mean I do pride myself for playing the game and really being like a player and a collector for the game. But even more to an even higher degree is
Hmm.
what Spencer is. So Spencer is our Orange Caps CEO,
Hmm.
Moonbird CEO, Headburb over there. But he has an extensive Magic background. He has an
Yeah.
extensive business background, and what he's been able to make here as his pride and joy, as his baby, his Vibes. And that is the person who completely understands what it means to be a high tier collector or a collector in
Mm,
general, but definitely a high tier.
yeah.
Like if you see his personal collection of multiple titles, it's insane. It's nuts. I would never ever have anything like that. It's just impossible at the moment. But then also he comes from that competitive background in multiple things that he does. Like Spencer loves to win, and in a really good way. So whether it's business, whether it's fencing, whether it's TCGs, he's hyper competitive and he loves to win. So when you get that marriage. That's the product of Vibes and Orange Cap Games. What they're able to do from a production, from a physical product and quality perspective. Like he just nails it every single time, and he's not opposed to any feedback. So internal feedback, external feedback. There's been things along the way that we've changed from set one to set two to set three, and always just getting better. We're never content. We want to make the product better and better, and the one who's leading the helm is Spencer.
And that competency really shines through. And it's interesting because like, I would say the same thing about Luca and Pudgy, right? Clearly a very competent, skilled, incredible operator who is able to come in and buy Pudgy and turn it into what it's become. And I would be in the camp of like just getting started and like really excited about what these guys can do. And clearly that brand has also attracted super high level talent and people like Spencer who want to, build upon the IP. And I think that Pudgy, I've always credited them for supporting that, right? I'm gonna forget off the top of my head like what the IP thing that they put in place was that other people could do it, but I know that they like pioneered that in that realm. So it's no surprise to see like Spencer is of that caliber and cloth. But I guess like from your perspective, from your experience, or also from, for you being a part of the team now, like, you know, how I want to talk more about like what it takes to do that and what you guys have been doing, because I think so many crypto games could learn from that. And I mean, obviously you guys are well equipped, but at the same time, I mean, not overly funded. There's plenty of games that have raised, more than what you guys have
Tens
raised.
and
And
tens and tens of millions.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like people have raised more and done less, right? I think the last big raise that we saw announcement was like $3.5 million, maybe sometime last year or whatnot. So not insane amounts of money. Sure, it helps, and there's games out there that would love to raise $1 million, but like, I mean, what is that difference, or how do you guys look at making this game and then building this community and growing it? And like, where do you feel like you guys are right now versus where you want to go? Might be a little bit of a loaded question, but love to hear
It
your.
it is, but I'd love to try to break it down and
Yeah.
dive into it. I mean, at the top, man, there's really just two words that come to mind at the top that are is kind of like our north star to at least from my perspective, right? Sorry, my oh man, this is terrible. I should not have this on here. I'm so sorry. All right, let's start
No, you're
over, or
good.
I'll start over. Yes. So two words that come to mind. At the very top, kind of our north star from my perspective is culture and collectibles,
Mm.
right? And that is really you and culture spans, traditional kind of TCG, Web2 culture, collector culture, also with a leader and a lot of team members who really understand the landscape of Web3 and NFTs. Now, our game has nothing to do really with Web3 and NFTs, where there's not a single activity or transaction on the blockchain. But obviously, the IP that we are using is NFT native, or it's
Hmm.
related to that. So, culture and collectibles, you see it come through at our events. You see it come through with the community that we have. You see it come through even in the card art. So Claire, who is our lead artist, just the memes that come through in the card art and their take on that, it just really resonates with the player base and even a person who isn't a player. Anytime that they come by one of our booths and they take a peek at some of the cards that are laying out there on the table, they instantly get it and they relate to it and they're like, ha, that's so funny, or oh, that's so cute, or oh, that was my favorite movie, I love that part. And it just kind of like hooks them in. And really, that's all it takes. And especially as a player, and we do such a good job. If I could just, give ourselves a compliment, is that once people try the game, that whether they're never tried a TCG before or they've been playing Magic for 20 years, it's so misleading because the art is so cute and friendly and approachable. They have this preconception that okay, there's not much depth or complexity to the game.
Mm.
And while that's true at a base level, you can kind of run at that level, sure. We've taught plenty of kids how to play, and next thing you know, they're in the tournament competing the next day. But at the high end, it really can compete with the complexity of any competitive TCG that's out there. So I'd say that is kind of the first part of the question. The second part is, man, the team that they've been able to put together here and the network of people and their networks. What we've been able to do with CGC, with PSA, with eBay, with just multiple of these giants within
Hmm.
the industry is nothing short of incredible. again, if I could just compliment ourselves, but with that being said, again, we're never content. It's always looking to do something better, but it is objectively impressive that especially at the time for a TCG that was far less than a year old
Yeah.
to have these, co-branded products or events or activations with these industry titans, which
Yeah.
is, again,
Does that just come from like, existing relationships where it's like, hey, like, I think Luca had a lot of relationships and from some of the investors and whatnot was able to open up a lot of doors. Obviously, getting your foot in the door is one thing, being able to stay in the door is a completely another. And credit to the Pudgy Penguins community, they showed up and showed out to the point where it was renewed in Walmart and Target and all that stuff, and is continuing to do well. Like, is that kind of the case with Spencer and whatnot? Like, okay, there were some advantages here, which are, is ultimately good. Like, that's what it's kind of about, or does it come from somewhere else? I mean, whatever you can speak on is totally fair.
yeah, I can't reveal everything behind the curtains and whose relationship is whose and everything like that. But I definitely say that the leaders there, their networks, and some of the people that are on the team, what their networks have led us to, and the partnerships that we've been able to secure in that definitely played a part. Although
Mm,
that I would say, like, if you're trying to start a TCG, or if you have started a TCG in the last 3 to 5 years and you don't already have those existing partnerships, I don't know, what you really expect to happen. I
yeah.
would feel like if you're starting a TCG, you should definitely be in that crowd. You should have that network kind of established already. And the reason I
Mhm.
mentioned that is just because that's not the only thing that got us not only in the door, but actually with the physical, product or activation that actually happened. And that's where I think is key, because you can have these existing relationships, but that doesn't mean that it's going to come out to something that's very tangible. And
Mhm.
what Vibes has been able to do, and I take no credit for this because a lot of it was, it predates me. Um, but with a lot of what the team is able to do is actually act on those things and
Yeah.
turn it into something. All the Comic Cons, the PSA Comic Cons, the eBay promos, getting into the distributors or vendors and retailers
It's a lot.
where objectively, like, we don't have any business being in for a game that's less than 12 months old.
Mhm.
But we were, and so that was amazing. We're gonna continue to grow on that. I think the other missing part of the recipe, and again, there's a lot of details, but other than the networks and the people, their maniacal passion about the game and the products, is we sit at such a good intersection and niche of these TCGs, collectibles,
Mhm.
Web3, competitive gameplay, because you have Magic and Flesh and Blood, where it's kind of very fantasy, not always gory, but a little bit fantasy, gory, magical.
Right.
You have Lorcana, which is obviously Disney. Other big ones, kind of Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, where there's, other than Pokemon, maybe there's nothing really cute, right, and
Yeah.
friendly. And then Pokemon is again that kind of like myth. It is a fantasy and a mythical creature, but the art is most definitely cute.
Yeah.
Um, but there's nothing that exists where we are at, and I think that brings something new to the table for a lot of distributors and retailers, and they
Mm.
realized, hey, this IP that they're based on is actually going viral. I mean,
Yeah. Right.
again, objectively, it's just, you see Pudgy taking over everywhere. You see their impressions, you see the gift usage, you see the products that they're able to go through, and it's like,
Mm.
wow, you have this brand that is on the up and up, and you have this product that sits at a very unique spot. This is, just kind of like a match made in heaven. All stars are aligning to where this can really be a breakout product.
That's so incredible. I hadn't thought about it that way. I mean, I guess a little bit, but to hear you articulate it in that sense is kind of fascinating because yeah, being building upon an incredibly successful IP is a buff and has these, tailwinds where the publishers or distributors or retailers or whatever, they're already familiar with it in a sense, and can see where this product then fits in with their existing product line, and it's less risky, and it's kind of like a force multiplier in some ways. Like, I can just see a lot of advantages with that, because it's not, while it's a new game, and a relatively new IP, but it's not an unknown IP. It's not, it's something that people have continued to work with. So I guess I'm curious, Jeremy, like, without like specifics, um I wanted to look up the IP deal thing that Pudgy Penguins did. I'm mad at myself for not knowing the name of it. But is it the case that specific uh I don't know, encouragement or allowment from like Pudgy Penguins to allow, Pudgy, the IP to be used and built upon, is like a key factor in this, or no? Does that have not have anything to do with it? Do you know the IP thing that I'm trying to reference?
You're not talking about Overpass, right?
No, it
Okay,
was like a
not the
specific
licensing tool,
thing
but the
that
okay.
Pudgy, where they like put it into the contracts that, like,
Mm.
the IP was like open and usable,
Okay.
and
I guess it's
everything.
kind of related to Overpass, but Overpass is more of like the application, the web app that we can actually, you know, put licensing applications out there where, but the underlying thing is that, they have granted the privilege and the well, yeah, honestly, just the privilege of the asset owners to be able to go out there and license their own IP, right?
Yeah.
But Overpass
Yeah, I'll see
definitely
if I can look it up.
facilitates
Well,
that.
mhm,
And I would say yes. I mean, that really helped us because we could take any art, right?
mhm.
Ideally, it is Pudgy, but let's just say
Oh,
it's
maybe it was
only
the
the pit.
overpass thing. I apologize to cut you off, but maybe it was the overpass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the underlying framework and like legal architecture of what
Yeah. Right.
Overpass is on, right?
Right.
But let's just say we took the Pingu mascot because that's like Pudgy themselves. Let's just say we were only able to use that, and we could turn we can turn Pingu or Pax, into 100 different arts, and that's cool. That's fine. Maybe if there's three mascots, we take those three mascots, make 150 cards. Cool, that's fine. But what really amplifies this is when you are able to empower the grassroots community and say, like, hey, this is your asset, this is your character, this is
Right.
your Pudgy, like on a card. And what this allows them, or what this allows us, is now those people are already somewhat of a committed consumer of yours. Not that we're like, hey, okay, now we get to take your money, we put your thing on a card, but it's just from their perspective, it's not, I get to see my character out there in the wild, like physically existing in the
Right.
world, and not only in a base form. Then the experience when they open a foil of it, when the experience when they open an Arctic foil, the experience when they open a sketch of their own card. And not only this, that we kind of inherit their relationships that they already have existing. Let's
Yeah.
just, give an example of McFly. McFly is one of the community members in Pudgy Penguins. So when McFly has one of his characters in the game, and then McFly brings his own band of supporters and his groupies and his fans and his friends and his family, it's like, oh, McFly is in the game.
Yeah.
Let me learn more about the game. Let me support the game. Let me get a McFly card. Let me get, and and you kind of, again, hijack is just such a negative connotation, but it is like a hijack. It is like an inheritance of that.
Right.
While, we try to honor them by making their art one of the sickest things that ever exists for that character. So I do think that's somewhat of a hidden or secret weapon of ours, but it's
I
not
love
so
that.
secret.
Yeah. But I mean, it again, yeah, Overpass was the licensing structure that they put in place, and again, it just speaks to the proliferation of Pudgies and Luca, and then the community and Spencer. Really, it's very crypto ethos of like, let's all come together and build something greater than the sum of its parts. And um
Yeah, they get
Jeremy,
they get paid out by that, man. I think they get like $100 every time, or per character, per asset that we use from them. So it's most definitely a win-win. I'd like to have, one of my assets in the game one day, but there's
yeah.
plenty of people, there's hundreds of people out there that already do. I know set 4 applications we're already closed. Set 5, we'll let you guys know when that's open. But it's just such a cool deal whenever, okay, something that you own, something that you affiliate yourself with, is now globally distributed out
Yeah.
there in the world as a collectible.
Yeah.
Imagine the person who saw their Bunkus or whatever, Bunkus sketch, or yellow mega sketch, whatever it may be, sell for 3,000, for 5,000. The Bunkus sketch sold for 12,000. And like, where else can you get that? If you're a
Yeah.
Pokemon, who really owns Charizard, right? There's not somebody experiencing that the same way that they do in Vibes.
Right.
Same way in Riftbound. Like, who owns Ezreal? And there's nobody out there that owns Ezreal. Like, yes, these are cool characters. Charizard
Yeah.
is amazing, and like timeless fictional
Right.
character that everybody recognizes and adores. Maybe not so much Ezreal, but Riot IP is pretty well known though. But
Yeah, of course.
again,
Give
so
me a
it's
Jinxie.
just right. That is definitely one of the benefits that we have on our side.
No, for sure. And I mean, that's the vision of NFTs and digital ownership and what this blockchain technology is all about. Let's go back to Vibes, the game. I'm curious, and we'll talk about set 3 in a minute. But Jeremy, like, what are some of the key metrics that you guys are tracking, or like, what are some of the directives for you in the game in 2026, right? Are you guys tracking, daily player counts and trying to grow? Is it the online game? Are you guys like doing a lot with abstract and like that aspect? Is it the, the world's series with, you've got the 3 locationals? Is it, the art? Is it, pack sales and things like that? Like, I'm sure in some regard it's everything, and you guys are working hard on all cylinders. But maybe some of the key ones that would be interesting to share, not only for like my crypto gaming audience, but other builders and people in the space.
Most definitely. I mean, there's tons of campaigns that we're doing. There's tons of pillars that we rely on and look to. A bunch of KPIs that we're keeping track of. I'd say, for 2026, really, it's about brand awareness. When people see a Vibes card back, when people see a Vibes card art, we want them to instantly know where that came from. Not, oh, is that a penguin game? Like, no. I mean, it is a penguin game, at least in the first 2 sets, but we want them to know the name, right? We
Yeah.
want them to know Vibes. So all the KPIs that relate to that. So that is digital player base, whether that be daily active player count, store metrics, digital store metrics. We have IRL events. So on our 10K SCG cons here in North America, there's a circuit of 10Ks that we've done this year. So there's probably 10 or 11 events if I had to count them in total. I believe there's 5 left. So attendance at those, whether that's growing or not. Impressions, of course, on social media, as our view counts on YouTube or any of our gameplay VODs. Obviously, our sell through and the how quickly we can actually sell out like a set, and then also that too, like how many days in between a set. It's not something that's gonna it we'd never get to, hey, one day, a set per day, but it's something where, hey, we want to shorten this to be able to fit maybe 2.5 to like 3 sets a year, where there's like a comfortable pace to those things. And yeah, I'd say those are definitely the main ones there.
Very cool, man. Let's talk about set number. Speaking of sets, let's talk about set number 3, which is very, very exciting. Set 1, oh, I don't have it in front of me. I know set 2 was like around the Lil Pudgies. Hold on, give me a second. I'm not gonna find it. What was set 1
Sure.
called?
Enter the huddle.
Into the
And
Huddle. Yes, yes.
if you notice, the acronym for enter the huddle is ETH.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. That's badass. I
Easter
like
egg.
that. And then so set number 2 was around the Lil Pudgies, and what was the official name? Was there a little Easter egg
Legend of
there?
the Littles.
Legend
There
of
was not
the Littles.
necessarily, yeah, not necessarily an Easter egg there, but
Got it. And then set number 3, of course, is Burb and Pengu. Very well documented. So cool that Orange Cap, bought Moonbirds and was able to revive that. And I mean, again, one of the beloved IPs in the space. Um, Launching June 18th. What are you excited about? What do people need to know? What's the big deal here?
oh man, the big deal. I'd say there's really two things on the new set that should get people excited. And one is that it's a whole new IP joining the collection of cards that we have. So it's
Yeah.
195 brand new cards, the brand new IP, at least to the game. So it's not a new IP, but the IP joining us in the game is Moonbirds.
Mhm.
So we will have the Pudgy, the Little Pudgy, and the Moonbirds all within the game. And then we have a new card type, which is called a fit. So these fit cards are equipment like cards that you can attach to your character cards to upgrade them, whether that be their stats or abilities. And so that's going to be crazy. It just changes the entire meta, changes the entire competitive landscape, and
Yeah.
how you build your deck and then how you build around that.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that this is going to completely change everything in many ways, which is very exciting. I mean, how are you guys thinking about that in the competitive landscape, right? Is it like kind of a reset for everybody as they figure out the new meta? I mean, are there any specific tournaments like for set 3 to kind of bring people in, or I don't know. I mean, I guess for someone watching this who's uninitiated, kind of what are you guys expecting from the community, from the game, from the general launch of set 3?
I mean, it just a ton of excitement because we haven't had really. There was locations in set two, and there was something called like a multi pudge or dual colored pudge characters, so they could either cast red or yellow pudge. But relics kind of existed. Locations somewhat act as relics. The only rule is that there could only be one location in play, and for set two, so that really limited, not limited the creativity, but that that limited the upper tier.
Mm.
There placed a limit on the deck building of that. As I say that, I mean Coliseum, the Coliseum location from set two is definitely a dominant force within the entire meta and that competitive landscape. But set three, it brings again a truly new, different card type that you can have multiples of at the same time in the huddle. So you can attach multiple to the same character. You can spread fits out across characters. Your opponent can have a fit at the very same time. So this functionally works so much different than locations that we honestly, I don't want to say have no clue where it goes, but we are so excited to see what the community and those competitive players do with it, because we only do so much in testing. It's kind of limited by the amount of games and the timeline and the possibilities that we can think of. But when we have hundreds and thousands of players testing out these new cards, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. Gonna be exciting. And then shout out Doji says he loves the fits. Ice and Dark saying good morning. Are these cards gonna be immediately available to play in the game online as well? Or kind of how does that work? Is it a physical what I guess what details have been released for the launch? Like, is it packs are live on Abstract or OpenSea? Go buy them, rip them
Yeah.
open, go play with them. Are they going to be live in stores? What do we know right now?
So set three again, Bourbon Pengu Moonbird's IP joins the game. We have a whole new card type fits. The set launches globally on June 18th. Our first showcase type of event, or the event where these will first be showcased competitively, is the Asian Championships happening there in Manila, Philippines on June 13th. And
Yeah,
then so a little tidbit on that is that event happens on June 13th. Our
yeah,
global release is June 18th.
Yeah, I'm
And
doing
so
the math
that
there.
means that means that that region is actually going to get a little bit of an early access to the cards, and it's not going to happen on June 18th. It's actually going to happen at a date before that, to be announced very soon. But
Oh,
the players are
cool.
going to be able to go and buy their sealed product from LGS's and from the vendors that we have there. They're going to be
Mm.
able to rip packs, do their deck or theory crafting together. Then they're going to be able to have, roughly two, give or take a few days of practice before going into that Asian championship. So that's, who the best deck there may not be the best deck in a month after that,
Yeah,
right? Because it's
almost
so
certainly
time
so,
limited.
right?
Hmm. For sure. And we know this for as well, and that's part, and this isn't uncommon in other TCGs, to
Yeah,
have a short run up to a bigger event, and it just provides some variety and some excitement in that, because
I like it. Yeah.
let's just say every event was on the same day all around the globe. So we had European, American, and Asian, and the set has already been out for, let's just say, 6 months. The format is not necessarily solved, but there's definitely going to be a lot of common decks. Deck builders aren't going to really have their opportunity to shine. It's going to be a lot of copy paste, which is fine and all, but let's just add some variety to it. So let's have an event that only is out for 2 to 3 weeks,
No, it's a
and
big kind of like surprise drop opportunity, like skill, this is going to test who can come up with the best decks, the best strategies in that short amount of time. And I'm sure people are going to be up late theory crafting and
that's part of
trying
the
stuff
fun of it.
out. And that's a blast, man. That's a whole experience.
That is a blast. I mean, imagine those weekends again, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where you're getting together with people who
Yep.
also play vibes, and there's 4 or 5 of you. You're in your little apartment, you're ordering pizza and whatever else, and you're just putting decks together and you're trying things. Like, man, that sounds so much fun. I wish I could be a part of it over there in the
Yeah.
Philippines. But for the rest of everybody who's not in the Philippines region, so we actually have a few pre-sales live already. That's
Mm.
going to be To the Moon, Star City Games, Dave and Adams, and MinMax.
Are these
So
physical stores or what are
these
those?
these are online retailers.
Okay, cool.
Online retailers, so you can go out there and pre-order your Bourbon Pingu boxes right now. We have another pre-sale to be announced that is not live yet, so there is one more that's going to be coming out with that. Most of these, well, To the Moon, Star City have pre-order exclusives. So for Star City, if you order a case, you get an exclusive playmat. To the
Mm.
Moon, who had theirs, they already sold through their 2,000 boxes of pre-ordered. But for people who
Damn.
got one of those first 2,000 boxes, they actually got a physical poster and there
Damn.
on these posters, there's variants of the posters, different artworks, and each artwork has a different variant. So that came free with each booster box. And some people, and that's instantly tradable on Dilly. So people are already, buying and selling the posters.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out
but
to
yeah, that
Dilly.
that was that was a great time. Yeah, shout out to Dilly. So we are excited to for everybody to get their boxes as close as possible to June 18th, and seeing where the meta goes from there.
Jeremy, is it fair to say, I mean, with like, with all homage to the first, launch and the set and everything, Enter the Huddle. But is it fair to say, like, this is, besides that one, maybe, like, this is the biggest drop that, Vibes has ever done?
I say that's very fair to say. Hopefully each set is the biggest drop that we
Yeah.
have, you know, um, just in terms of hype, just in terms of physical events that we use to support it, in terms of the product lineup that we have, in terms of the partners that we're launching with, like everything. We always hope to go bigger and better, and yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on set three. Like, I am literally, I have tons of cards over here, set one and two, but set three is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. We have just a couple things that the viewers may not be aware of, whether they're the player base or not. Is set two, we had a new foil called Arctic Foil. Set three, we replace Arctic Foil with we split it into two. So it's that same tier. It sits between a normal foil and a sketch,
Hmm.
and it's going to be split in two. So you're going to have a fish foil and a bird foil.
Oh, cool.
Fish foil is going to be used on every Pudgy card, and then the Moonbird's foil or bird foil is going to be used for every Moonbird's character card.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Man, the bat, like, okay, a little bit of lore. Maybe I don't know what's been revealed or not. Like, is this going to be a little bit of, are we doing like Burbs versus Pudgy, like Pengus? Like, is there going to be, are there going to be synergies? Are there going to be like battles? Like, how is this kind of, how are you guys thinking about integrating the Moonbirds IP and characters alongside the Pudgy Penguins in the world of vibes? Like, is there lore that you guys are building into this? I don't know, anything that you can share.
So I wouldn't say so much like storybook or novel type
Yeah,
lore. You know,
nothing's canon. Okay.
there's not of like a bunch of creative direction there in terms of a text or story based,
Yeah.
but definitely there's the art is driven by the lore of the character ability and
Mm,
then the asset itself. So if the
mm,
asset if the character looks a little quirky or nerdy or something like that, we try to find a card where the ability really synchronizes with that, and it's a match made in heaven where okay, now we can, now the artist then creative team can go and create a dope piece because they have, you know, this this goofy dorky character that kind of aligns with something more statistical or mathematical like an ability. And so there's lore that way, and then for the entire set, yes, the bourbon pingu, not the entire color all the time, but most of the color will be kind of tied to either a moonbird or pudgy, right? And then the other thing with that is that there's not a single card that mixes both a moonbird and a pudgy. Um,
mhm.
the thing is they work very very well together depending on the cards, but there's also these tribe decks that you can make where it's all moonbirds versus all pudgy, and those would
Mm.
definitely have some synergies as well.
Very cool. Okay, I'm getting excited, man. Well, I think that brings us to a little bit of a special reveal. I know we've you guys have been teasing different arts and cards and whatnot, but maybe never publicly seen or revealed yet.
Yeah.
We've got 3 cards to show.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say we have 3 cards. All 3 of them have never been seen. The Hero's Shield has a little bit of a teaser of a spoiler already out there on our blog post, but it's never been visually seen. And the other 2 are completely brand new to all viewers.
Okay, well, you mentioned, I wasn't gonna go with the hero shield first, but you mentioned it, so
Yeah.
we can show this here. First time revealed. There's been a teaser, but this is it, guys. This is one of the fits, which is a new mechanic being introduced in set 3, Burb and Pengu. This is the hero's shield. It is a 4, I guess, like, defense
Mana,
mana.
energy. Yeah, we call it fish, but yep.
Okay. And choose a character to wear this fit. As long as the stack is empty, the character wearing this can't be chosen by anything. Strong,
Hmm.
strong,
Yeah,
strong,
so
strong. I like it.
that essentially, this is again one of our new card types, or the new card type called a fit. So you can equip
Yeah.
this to any character as long as you pay the 4 fish cost for it, and it essentially turns it into a hex proof character, at least with the condition that as long as the stack is empty, it cannot be chosen. And so whether you're familiar or not with TCG games or with our game, all that means is there, when you cast actions or if you tap for abilities, that creates a stack. So if your opponent has only one action or maybe one act that would choose your character, they actually couldn't do that because they need something existing on the stack. So they need to preempt it with another ability or another action to start a stack, and then they can choose that character. So for our existing player base, it's almost like Green Mega, except with the condition that it can be chosen after a stack has started.
I love that. I love that. Shout out to the hero's shield, man. I like this card a lot. I mean, kind of because it's got the icy peaks and the snow in the background, which I just vibe with. But then, we always love a strong shield. We got I mean, Is that kind of like a moonbird? Like, I
That
mean,
is
yeah,
that is Moonbird.
yeah, like we got the
Yes.
moonbird on there. I was trying to figure out if it was like kind of like a penguin moonbird kind of collab, almost, but no,
No,
that's
this
straight
one,
moonbird.
the straight Moonbird, and this is a rarity card. You can tell down there by the yellow icon at the bottom. And for
Okay.
people again who are existing player base or new, all of our rarities are located at the bottom, and each set has their own rarity icon. So the colors are consistent. White is uncommon, gray is uncommon, yellow is rare, red is epic.
Yeah.
But the icon itself, this one in set 3 is going to be the top of a moonbird head, essentially. Set 2 was the head of a little, and then set 1 was the head of a pudgy.
Oh, that's cool. I like that a lot. I'm like drawing an affinity to this card, but it's only an image that I'm like I have. Like I don't have the card, which makes me sad. Let's take a look at this next one here. Shout out to Doji in the chat. I know he's liking all this. I like this one. This is a little cool guy, which listen, I have a little pudgy. I consider myself a little cool guy. Shout out to the. I'm just a cool guy,
Yeah.
man. We're just some cool guys over here playing some TCGs. This is a
This one's so
3/3.
vibey.
Yeah, it's a super vibe. When this character enters the huddle, choose a character. You may reveal a fit card in your hand with fish cost 3 or less. If you do, put it into play, outfitting that character. Very nice. Very
Yes.
nice.
So this one goes along with the fits that we kind of just showed, except Hero Shield falls outside of the criteria for this because Hero Shield is 4 fish cost, and then this one is can target any equipment, sorry, fit that costs fish 3, sorry, 3 fish cost or less.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's incredibly powerful still, where that means if you do the math, so this one costed 3 fish to play, but it allows you to play another 3 or less fish cost for free. So that means you could potentially get up to 6 fish paid for only 3. So it's like a fish cheat, which is again super powerful, incredible. That means you're going up in 2 permanents for only a 3 fish cost.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should say this because for better or
Say
worse,
it.
I put myself on the spot, but
Say it.
I didn't have a lot of say in card design, but this is one that definitely has my touch on it. So we did edit the
Okay.
ability of this a little bit. I won't say what it was before, but yes, this one is a Yo Jeremy special.
Oh man, I love. Hey, shout out to you, man. Congrats. I like that. I like that a lot, man. Listen, you teach a man to fish. You know he's got 3 fish or less, and you keep fishing, and you win the Vibe
That's what they
CCG match.
say.
That's what my grandfather always said, man. That's what my grandfather always said. And if you're feeling some FOMO from this conversation, well, Vibes TCG has a card just for you. We got the FOMO action card. Shout out to the Pengu Bob penguins pants me classic meme of all time. We got the Squidward Pengu looking out at the guys having fun outside. So reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, put all the fit cards into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So what are the advantages of this card, Jeremy?
I mean, let's just say best case scenario. This isn't going to happen most of the time. You can build your deck where it has a high probability. Let's just take the best case scenario. You pay 3 pudge, use 1 card. You can potentially put up to 5 cards in your hand. So you pay 1 or not pay 1. You 1 card out of your hand, 5 cards in the best case scenario. And
Yeah,
I'd say
right.
on average, the construction of a deck where this card would actually be used, you're hoping to hit probably 2.5 to 3 cards every time that you cast this. So it's incredible card advantage. Again, using 1 card to get back 3.
Badass, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Doji saying he needs all these spoilers as a sketch. Hodl on Trey, which I love that name, is shouting out the SpongeBob meme. Very cool, man. Very cool. Remind me, Jeremy, these cards have different foils. Am I seeing the foils on these cards? The little cool guy, or what are the foils?
Not
Or no?
necessarily. I wouldn't say that the foils aren't really rendered here. These are
Got
the
it.
base versions, but
Got
if
it.
you're again familiar with definitely our set 2 foils. Our set 2 foils are incredible, but yeah, we have at least that type of quality, if not better, for set three in the foils. So just to go through the variants again, we have our base card edition, so no
Mhm,
foil. We
mhm.
have our hollow, which is just your typical, entire card art foil.
Yep.
And then it's the same tier, but two different groups: Burb foil and Fish foil. Fish foil is going to go on Pudgy cards. Burb foil is going to go on Moonbirds cards. And then our final variant is the Sketch variant, and this is a boilerplate kind of variant of the card where it's the actual sketch that the artist used to make the rest of the card art with artist notes on there. And the other special thing is that they are serialized out of 10. So there's only 10 copies of a sketch card of every single card in the set.
Amazing, amazing. I want to go back to this one just on the Twitter because this card is incredible as well. So cool. I don't know. I vibe with this art a lot. Speaking of McFly, shout out to Saint McFly in the chat. We were talking about you earlier,
Oh,
brother. Appreciate you coming through.
we
Shout out
did.
to you.
Somebody must have pinged them.
Vibes a legend in the chat. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Yes. So just to
Um,
answer
yeah.
McFly's question real quick, because I know he probably wasn't here earlier. So yes, the Arctic foil from set two has been replaced by two different groups. So it is the same tier, but now in two different divisions: bird foil and fish foil. That is correct.
Burb foil and fish foil to foil your opponents. No, I don't know. This is why I'm not a rapper, guys. Couldn't make it. Jeremy, this has been amazing, man. I mean, I feel like we got to, bring you back for round 2 and round 3. I feel like we could talk for hours and hours and hours, which is like such the case when I do these shows, especially with like a game like Vibes. So you've been amazing. I just like, I do want to ask a few more questions, and but we definitely have to we won't have time for everything that I want to ask you. We'll have to bring you back again, like I
Of
said.
course.
Um, but I guess, man, like with the tournament coming up, with the set coming up, I mean, it's so exciting. I think, getting to your third set is such a milestone, right? Launching the game, seeing the community response, now being, a year and a half, almost 2 years in, to continuing to grow this. You've had your first world champions. You guys are now in your second world champion, series of tournaments with the, the regionals going around. I mean, it's what every crypto game like or any game wants to achieve. So I guess like it's hard to ask because I want to ask like what you're most excited for or like what the most rewarding thing is, but I get the sense that you're such a gamer, and like deep in the community, deep in the art, the IP, the world. So it's awesome. It's everything that you want to see and hear. I guess like let me ask it this way. What else are you excited for in 2026? Because we know set 3, we know the Asian championships are going to be incredible. What else is kind of like simmering that you're like, oh, like there's not enough attention kind of going over here. Like you guys are kind of maybe missing something.
I think we have an ace up our sleeves.
Oh,
I can't say much about it, but it is definitely going to be an exciting time. Um, it's related to set three and hopefully beyond, but definitely have a little bit of a trick again, ace up our sleeves. We can't wait to release that to the community. But also, I just want to take before I answer the rest of that, I just want to take the time to again thank you, but also thank the rest of our community, the collectors, the player base, the people who teach others to play the game, all the people who have sent cards to people just out of their own kindness and big heart, just so that way people learn the game. We appreciate each and every single one of you, the people who license their assets to us, the people who have helped spread the game, spread the joy, everything. If you've ever been a part of just proliferating vibes to the rest of the world, your friends, your family, it just means so much to us, and we can't ever say thank you enough. And you've helped us along in this journey. You've helped us get to where we are today, and we just hope to make you proud in the future as well. So but yes, other than the ace up our sleeves, which I'm really 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 excited for, The other thing, that Vesper card art that you just had, our lineup of epic cards, which you again, you know it's an epic by the red icon on the bottom of the card.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, we've commissioned these 10 featured showcase famous, all the adjectives that you want to give them. We've commissioned these 10 artists to design their own cards
Oh wow.
based on the character that we give them. And Brian Brinkman is one of them. And he actually got to design this. The Vesper is his own Moonbird.
Yeah.
But to go through the list real quick, we have Grant Yoon, Postwook, Zaid Kurtzy, Brian Brinkman, Dirty Robot, Alien Queen, Jisoo, Mumbot, Gruwu, and Vinny Hager.
Wow.
All designed their epic card arts. So this is going to provide just an experience of a lifetime to be able to rip these packs and go through the boxes and chase these cards. Not only because they're epic, not only because they're good cards, but also because they're these just household, well-known artists within the industry that we can't just wait to have. You get to have a piece of their work in your card collection. So you get to marry these two
Yeah.
things, your passion for collecting, your passion for TCGs, and your passion, for artists like this, and you get to have it all in one package.
Yeah, epic, man. Mega. That's a clip. Clip it and ship it, Clippers. Jeremy, that's dude, that's so sick. And I'm just like sitting here like Vibes is doing everything right. And it feels like Vibes gets forgotten by like the crypto gaming, mafia, if you will. Like why is Vibes not more celebrated, promoted? Because sometimes it feels like Vibes is just like kind of on and not an island, but like
Mm-hmm.
you guys are just doing your thing, and of course you're big and abstract, and all the guys over there. But like, do you feel that? Am I wrong about that? Or like it also like doesn't matter because it's like crypto gaming guys like good luck,
It's
have fun over there. But like we're over here changing the world.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we love and respect that community. Again, they are some of our earliest users, our supporters. They're some of our OG players and competitive players that still exist today. But the reach that was always planned for Vibes is so beyond Web3,
Yeah.
so beyond traditional TCGs even. So that's not even a diss. It's like we want to go past um Yu-Gi-Oh. We want to go past the bounds of flesh and blood. Like we don't want just this existing audience. We want to break barriers. We want to get in a whole new crowd of people. So that's what I'd say about that. But then also for the Web3 crowd specifically, maybe why we're quote unquote like slept on is a lot of these games before. I don't want to say click simulators, but they're very low effort. Not the games, but the gameplay. You can kind of do your remote job and play on the
Yeah.
side. You can have it up on your iPad. You can have it up on your Asus ROG Ally or something like that. For a TCG, you just have to be so committed. You just have to be so focused. Your brain power just has to be, absolutely turned on, or you're just gonna be crushed. You're just not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna be successful. So I think really that's what it comes down to is um, the time and effort that it takes to play any TCG, not just Vibes, doesn't really align with the lifestyle, with the crazy ADHD lifestyle of a crypto bro.
You can just say, man, the crypto gaming creators don't play games, man. It's true. These crypto gamers, we're LARPing out here, man. Bunch of LARPs. I'll say it. I'm not afraid. It's okay.
Well, a lot of the games are like spin here, click here,
Yeah.
and it's like random this, gamble this, and it's just not like what a TCG is.
Yeah.
There's so
No,
much effort and thought into it.
you can tell, man. You can tell the difference between the people, the games, and the teams who like know what they're doing, and who have been there and done it, and like are from are really about that life and from that cloth versus like first time developers or whatnot. Man, it's so cool. I'm so glad that we got to do this call, Jeremy. Again, I've followed Vibes since I first saw it at Art Basel when the game launched. I actually met Marcello there him and his girlfriend. It was my first time meeting them in person, and the vibes were electric. And it's really great to see you guys a year and a half in, or 2 years in, or whatnot. I mean, Orange Cap Games. Um, Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to you and the team, and all the work that you guys are doing, because yeah, while you guys might be slept on, criminally slept on from a few of the people who post on Twitter every day, it's clear that you're not slept on by your community, by the players that play the game, by the distributors and retailers that you're working with, and the real impact that you guys are having out in the real world. So man, wish you guys all the best. We need to, yeah, I'm saying it now, like, crypto gaming creators, we need to rally around vibes way more, because in all of the lists, like, you guys should be top three of, like, if not top one of the games, of like, yo, like, look at what we're doing with a crypto IP, with a game that anybody can play, that people are falling in love with, and is going around the world, and creating opportunities, and proliferating the pudgies, and all that good stuff. And so yeah, man, appreciate the work. It was great having you on. I hope to have you back on at some point. I gotta ask the question from McFly, because we got to get that out there. Are you guys gonna be at the Nationals this year? Because he is going. I don't know if that was on the agenda.
If we are, I don't want to confirm an entire vibes presence, but if we are, it's probably going to be a couple of staff members at the very least, and then maybe even bigger than that. But I will say not confirmed for vibes, probably confirmed for a couple of vibes staff members.
There
The
you
two
have
that I
it.
do know of outside of our competitive events, our zonals, SCG Con, all that stuff, is we will have a presence at San Diego and New York Comic Con.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, and then
NFT NYC on the books at all, maybe, or no?
I
It's a
don't
tough
believe
one.
so.
It's a
No,
tough one.
I don't think that we are going to be there. We are based out of New York, actually.
Mm,
So we're not opposed to having maybe some type of set three little tournament or pop up shop or
yeah.
something like that. Definitely,
Little meetup.
interested in that. But in terms of uh, being, you know, a vendor or a partner in NFT NYC, most likely not. There are quickly three things that I wanted to mention. If
Please.
you are looking out there looking to be a creator within the Vibes ecosystem, please reach out to me, just at Yo Jeremy on X. You can also find me in our Discord. We are trying to amplify and support and grow the content of Vibes that's out there, whether that's a casual format, whether that's a competitive format, whether that's an art and lore type of style, guerrilla, street interviews and pack ripping. So any of those things that you may find yourself to be really, really good at, or you're not even necessarily really, really good at, just passionate about starting. We want to help you start. We want to, help you grow as a creator, help you help us. And so again, if that interests you, just please reach out to me. We're happy to grow alongside you. Two, we have our starter kits. We have set three starter kits, all new, coming out in set three as well. So we have, again, booster boxes, a case, which is 10 booster boxes. We have two starter kits, and then we have a few more SKUs coming out this year. So just keep an eye out for that. The last thing would be, I see a link in on X. Just disclaimer: this is a community tool and site, and as always in this space, just always be careful of the sites that you visit, and be careful of the applications that you trust and all that. But this is a community member, a top competitive community member, who built this site that allows you to monitor the spoilers that have happened for set three. So if you ever want to take a peek at what's coming out in set three, you can visit this site. Shortly here soon, we will also have something very similar on our site once the spoiler season is done.
Very cool. And this is a public link. Can I say it?
Yeah, that's absolutely a public link. These
Cool.
are all the revealed cards so far for set three. Yeah, I just I always, man, I never want people to take their own safety and security for granted. Like, I just always preach, be careful of every single thing that you touch.
Yeah, 100%. So this is Vibes Tracker, vibes-tracker.com forward
Mhm.
slash this one particular is forward slash set three dash spoilers. I posted the link. So if you're on Twitch or YouTube, you should be able to get that. If you are on Twitter, which a bunch of you guys are, the links don't really come through the chat there. But you can definitely check that out. Jeremy, thank you so much, man. This has been amazing. Super excited. June 13th, I think, is the Asian championships. June 18th is the official launch of set 3 Burb and Pengu. So much more coming for Vibes and the whole ecosystem, man. I mean, really, really incredible to see, the game that you guys have, the community that you have. And I personally want to rally behind you guys far more, and encourage others to rally around you guys as well. Cause you guys are doing it right, man. And in a time where, we didn't get into your thoughts on like the Web3 gaming space and the industry and what it's like building on in it and whatnot. Kind of because we don't need to, man. Like it's all about you guys continuing to build and be successful, and that's what matters. But for me as a creator covering game shutdowns and everything, it's been tough, but it's great to see Vibes like being a beacon of light and hope. Who knew it was going to be the Penguins all along? We should have known, dude. You never fade the Penguins, man.
Never fade the Pudgies. Yeah. No, it's been a blast. Thank you again, IC, for having me. Even before this interview, with all the other stuff that you've done, I mean, I've always followed along. I've always been appreciative of your talent and skill. You're an incredible host. You're very well spoken. You
Thank
put
you.
so much time and research and energy into these things. It's always a pleasure watching every single interview that you've done. And we're proud to be a part of it. I'd love to come back. And yeah, I just I'm excited for set 3, and I hope that we can get you involved as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to make that happen. With that, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Taylor Sid, Hoddle Entree, St. McFly, Mount Doji, everyone, Ice and Dark, everyone that came through. Much love. You guys mean so much. Shout out to everyone on Blaze, YGG Play, the sponsors that make this show possible. That's going to do it for us, guys. No show tomorrow because I'm traveling. We'll be back next week with more interviews. And go play Vibes. Go play Vibes TCG right now. You can go play it. Go to their website. Go play the game.
Free to
go
play.
cop some
All
packs.
cards available.
Have